Behold, the festering carcass of American rot, shoved into an ill-fitting suit. The sleaze of a con man, the cowardice of a draft dodger, the gluttony of a parasite, the...
We dying for you to get up out the chair. We dying for you to get up out this earth, Trump.
He's still here, y'all. He's still here. He on TV right now, still here, running his big mouth.
Over and over again, America proves itself not to be a real place. I cannot lie. We have hilarious reactions of Americans that were having their fingers crossed that this man isn't here anymore. You guys are going to want to look at all of them because it will give you something to laugh about. How are you all doing? I hope that from wherever you all are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully, God has protected you and preserved you very well. Thank you to all of you that support me. My members, a big shout out to you guys. We do have this episode that I don't have to say so much about. I want us to look at the reactions of Americans after discovering that Orange Man is still live and well and kicking, and he's still the president. Let's watch this, come back and talk about it. Just do me a favor, like the video, share it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back.
Behold, the festering carcass of American rot, shoved into an ill-fitting suit. The sleaze of a con man, the cowardice of a draft dodger, the gluttony of a parasite, the racism of a Klansman, the sexism of a back alley creep, the ignorance of a bar stool drunk, and the greed of a hedge fund ghoul, all spray-painted orange and paraded like a prize hog at a county fair. Not a president, not even a man, just the diseased distillation of everything this country swears it isn't, but has always been. Arrogance, dressed up as exceptionalism, stupidity, passed off as common sense, cruelty, sold as toughness, greed, exalted as ambition, and corruption, worshipped like the gospel. It is America's shadow made flesh, a rotting pumpkin idol that proves that when a nation kneels before money, power, and spite, it doesn't just lose its soul. It jits out this bloated obscenity and calls it a leader.
That man got up out of that hospital bed, or whatever kind of bed he in, to come and prove to America that he not sick. And it did not work. If we just look at the hand alone, borrowed time, motherfucker, borrowed time. He was bloated, heaving, could barely breathe. Don't take my word for it. Don't. Even the white folks know his age on borrowed time. Looking a mess and sounding like it too. And that flap is still flapping. White Americans for Trump and Americans for Trump, y'all some of the dumbest motherfuckers to ever walk on this God's green earth. Y'all are idiots. This is what y'all wanted in the White House. Crusted a motherfucking clown. Not only was this motherfucker looking like it today, look at the goddamn wig man over here. Why does this man have on a Benjamin Button-esque wig? We got mother action. Yes, we do. The man with the dead hand. Swollen at that.
So, I'm sure by now a lot of you all have seen this video of a black bag right there being thrown out of a window at the White House. Yes, this happened yesterday. The video was posted of window at the White House open and a black bag being tossed out of it. Well, I just got through watching today's press conference with Donald Trump. And let me show you what he said about the black bag being thrown out the window at the White House. And then I'm going to show you the official statement that the White House made about the bag being thrown out the window at the White House. And spoiler alert, Donald Trump is a liar.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
So that's a fake video.
Well, it's got to be, because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that, because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's... In fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be... Where was the window? Let me see.
Maybe from the renovations.
Which is the window?
It looks like this is on the 15th Street side, I think. So right here.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them.
So, yeah, AI, windows don't open. This is the statement that the White House released in connection with the video of the black bag being thrown out of the window of the White House residency. They say the viral video of an object tossed out the window was the result of, wait for it, AI? No, regular maintenance. Yeah, regular maintenance. I don't, regular maintenance of throwing bags out the White House. I'm never seen that before, but the window does open, and yeah, Pinky, because I don't know what else. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? All right, y'all have the day you deserve. Just thought I'd point that out.
Okay. I just watched 45 minutes of the Trump press conference where he is intending on moving the Space Force from Colorado to Huntsville, Alabama. Here is your recap of everything that went down. He is renaming Huntsville, Alabama to be forever known as Rocket City, Alabama. He joked that him winning Alabama by 47 points is why he's moving it there. Coincidentally, he lost Colorado by 11 points. He congratulated Katie Britt for being produced by her grandmother. He apologized to Tommy Tuberville for Alabama losing this weekend. Tommy Tuberville coached at Auburn University. He said Colorado is being penalized for having dishonest mail-in voting. He's building a golden dome and said Canada is begging to be a part of it. It is being renamed the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Rocket City, Alabama. He said, we shot at a drug-carrying boat from Venezuela moments ago and immediately transitioned to also shooting Iran. When asked about the cost savings and strategic benefits of Huntsville, he said, the people of Alabama are great people and they work hard. They wanted it more, they wanted it badly. When asked about his death rumors this past weekend, he said, I didn't see that. And then said, I did all successful news conferences and then took 2 days off. And then he said he did hear about it. And then he brought up Biden taking months off doing nothing. And then he admitted to going golfing at the Trump National Golf Club, which is a beautiful resort. When asked about school shootings, he said, nobody knows more about construction but me. And it's a construction problem. We need to fix doors and locks. And then he said, any teacher who previously served in the armed forces should be permitted to carry a weapon. Something is going on and it's a bad thing. That was his comment on school shootings. On Putin and Zelensky, we're gonna see what's gonna happen. On sending the National Guard to Chicago, he compared Chicago to Afghanistan in terms of danger. He said that if he didn't send the National Guard to LA, then the Olympics would be canceled in 2028. He said gradually increased numbers in terms of the people shot in Chicago the past 3 weeks, and they went from 10 and 20 shot to 20 and 75 shot, and that's how Republicans get their information. He took responsibility for new restaurants opening in DC right now. He said every black Chicagoan is begging the president to send the National Guard there. He said Baltimore is the 4th most unsafe place in the city of Baltimore. He said that Baltimore police are woke and not strong enough to lift guns out of their holsters, and that the problem with police is that they need to hire big, strong men. He said, I don't need to do this, but I do it because that's the kind of guy I am, in regards to addressing violent crime. And then he said, our country is the hottest country in the world, and we have the best economy, and every other country wants to be us right now. And that was my breaking point when I turned it off. And to be honest with you, the highlight was this guy who, while Trump was incoherently ranting, was just staring off into the distance.
Many consecutive weeks. This went on for years, saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody...
He's still here, y'all. He's still here. He on TV right now, still here, running his big mouth That little 6-7 days of him being silent was the best 6-7 days we gonna have in his presence. He's still here, y'all, running his mouth about some garbage like always. This wasn't the news I was expecting. This kind of like just hampered my day, really, y'all. Now it's back to reality again with this dude, man. Now he back. He ain't dead, but he's still lying. But he's still lying no matter what. He is still lying, but I'm sorry, y'all. We didn't get the news. We was all prepared for it. I see people here champagne on ice like they finna win the NBA championship. I seen people ready to throw a party, barbecues. Not yet, y'all. Not yet. But yeah, he's still alive, y'all. He's still alive. Oh man, he's still here, y'all. And he on TV doing what he do best. Lying to the American people. I'd rather for him to go back to where he was at the last 6 days. I don't care what he was doing. Just go back to where you was at, man. Because them 6-7 days, those was the best 6-7 days.
Charlie?
To us. To us. So yeah, he's still here.
Biden wouldn't do him for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him. And we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape.
Who's going to tell him why we did not question if Biden was alive when Biden disappeared? Because we are all praying on your downfall, sir. Anytime you go disappeared for even a millisecond, we go pray to God that he has taken you not to glory, but y'all know where I'm looking. And I know he saw it. I know he saw people talking about him. I know he saw people praying that was what was happening. But y'all need to stop playing with my emotions, Smokey, for real. Because when that man does go and we have a great repassing, I'm bringing the sweet potato pie. But then also we need to prepare for J.D. Vance, okay? And I keep saying that because J.D. Vance is Palantir Heritage Foundation. That's they baby. He not old. And he is bought and paid for, which means he's going to do whatever he can to make those people happy. To J.D. Vance, Trump was an Otzi leader at one point. Now he's the best thing since sliced bread. So when Trump kicks the bucket, I do want y'all to understand that things are going to get a lot harder for us. Because this man is going to be all smiles in front of the camera, but doing the dirty work in the background. And we talking about bullying him off the internet won't mean a damn thing. Corporations are going to start running this country as soon as J.D. Vance takes full control. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to be happy to see that man go to hell.
Finding out Trump was alive is akin to what? Fill in the blank in the comments. What was it like knowing that after all these days of speculation and hope and living on a prayer, that man trotted his old out to the podium and talked about whatever, Rocket City and all that. It was so deflating. I mean, is it like you're getting ready, it's Christmas morning, you're getting ready to open presents to realize that there are no presents, there's no Christmas music, there's no Christmas breakfast, just such an utter letdown. So what in your life can you compare that to? That seeing Donald Trump, knowing he is alive, I don't know if well is the right word, but knowing that he is still functional and still president of the United States after we were filled with so much hope core over the last few days. What did it feel like to you? Let me know in the comments because I've got to know what people are feeling and thinking today.
Listen, y'all. So I had every intent to come on this app today and talk plenty of shit on Trump. But you know what? Right as I was hitting record, someone said, don't do it. Pray for him. I said, who? That ain't Jesus, but who said it? Pray for him. And you know, I had to stop for a moment and understand that sometimes, godly, this is so off-putting for me when it comes to him. Sometimes we have to take away it all and remember what we were taught to respect our elders, because he is an elder. And I know he has done some bad things. I know this, y'all. Trust me, I tell y'all this all the time. But at some point, we cannot lose all humanity. Somebody has to keep humanity, even when we have evil people. And I know that sounds crazy. But something told me that before I got on here to do this video. Because I saw him today in that press conference and I was like, I've seen that look before. And it just wouldn't sit right with me if I played into the narrative that that is something to joke about. Because it's not. But again, I know this is so off-brand for me. I know. But it's really not off-brand for me because this is who I am. So it's not off-brand. It's just weird for me to say it out loud. So y'all think about that when we are making these videos. I know it's hard to keep it respectful because he's so disrespectful at every turn. I know. But at some point, I don't even want to say we have to be the bigger person. Somebody has to be the leaders. Somebody has to be what we want to see in the world. Because if we're all doing the same thing, then the world is never going to get better. And I know people are not even going to listen through this all the way. But I had to say that. But I
watched the press conference. Update, he's alive. He doesn't seem to be any worse off than he was previously. He's still, spewing out word salad the same way he has been since 2016. Speech pattern still feels like watching a dementia patient sundown on live TV because it is a dementia patient sundowning on live TV. Doesn't appear to have visible stroke face. He's not on a ventilator. He's not in a wheelchair. The only difference I noticed between this and other press conferences I've watched is that it felt a lot like he was having his inner circle doing most of the talking for him and only talking when he had to. Which could be indicative of something, it could also be nothing. The weirdest part about this press conference is it could have been an email. It could have just been a bulletin on the White House billboard. Because this White House is entirely full of people who are so self-important that they need to make everything a production, they turned this into a meeting. They turned this into a full press conference when it's something we already knew was going to happen, and it isn't really changing how we're going about our day-to-day. It's hardly news. I think the real reason that they turned this into a press conference instead of just a bulletin on the White House website is because they wanted to provide some verifiable proof of health for Donald Trump to the public. There's really not that much more to this story, just business as usual from this point forward.
I just wanted to show y'all the funniest part about the little press conference that Trump did today, especially since this was a live stream on specifically Fox's TikTok page. This was the most commented comment over and over and over again. That's the whole comment in its entirety. Trump's a pedo. That's literally over and over again. Thousands. Most sent 47 times this time. And that number just kept going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. I mean, look, over and over again. And again. 163 times back to back. Release the list. That was another one that was very popular. Another running contender, orange is rotting. It just kept going. And then someone just finally called it out for what it is. This is the most hated man in the world. And he's our president. Lord have mercy. So then I thought, surely there has to be some platform that is, in his favor. So I went over to YouTube to check those comments. Different platform, different vibe. He's still alive, sad face. Breaking news, Donald Trump found alive, heartbreak. He literally stands there and lies. Incredible. Release the files, comedy show. He looks rough. It just keeps going. And another one. I don't think I've ever seen a president or any political figure for that matter or anybody come on a platform and receive this much hate, let alone our president. You would think someone would be filtering these comments at least a little bit. Do they not have the power to do that? I feel like it's too many that they can't even filter through them all. To be the most hated man in the country, how are you even in this position? That's crazy. But I just want to show y'all that. Okay, bye.
I was wrong. He is still here. The press conference proved it. There was a part of me that deep in my head was maybe this is pre-recorded, but if I'm being honest, the man's here, and there's nothing we can do about that. The things that he talked about were moving Space Force from Colorado to Alabama. That was the big breaking news, after being 40 minutes late, mind you. I don't know how that's going to benefit us as Americans. I know that it's going to hurt the 35,000 employees that work for Space Force in Colorado, but it's a way for him to get revenge on the blue states. It's just what he does. He talked about DC and how crime is lower, even though year over year crime has been down before his presidency. He is claiming victory over that, saying that now people can walk the streets in peace and it's a beautiful city and there's no more crime and it's all great. But let's not forget that the service members that are there under his orders are also not getting paid for this. Because in order to get compensated for these sort of orders, tasks, is that they have to be there for 30 days and then they receive their benefits. Trump is changing them out at the 29-day mark, which I think is an insult to our service members. You're basically robbing them, and I don't think that that's right. What else did he talk about? He talked about being confused and shocked about all the rumors that were going around about his demise. But then, in the same breath, would say, when I heard about it, and then, oh, I didn't hear about it. But then, oh, yes, I did hear about it. And then it was a lot of rambling that I didn't pay attention to, so I checked out of the news conference. Tomorrow, the victims of the Epstein files are holding their own press conference, and I think that we should pay attention to that and see what's going on. There are rumors flying in the comment section saying, oh, he's probably going to step down, or he's probably going to be forced out. I am not going down that rabbit hole again. I learned my lesson with this one. Even though there was a lot of evidence that pointed to that being the reality, I am not going to take the bait with this one. We need to be very present about what's actually going on in our country. We need to keep an eye on our ball. And, you know, as much fun as these rumors have been and as much hope as it brings the country, like, there are other things that we need to be looking at. We need to be watching what's going on with other countries. For example, apparently the United States has struck against Venezuela by attacking a boat that was coming from Venezuela to the United States that was allegedly carrying a lot of drugs. That's all the details that I know about that. But I would not be surprised if he used this as an excuse to start a conflict with Venezuela to try to guarantee some sort of third term, even though we all know he doesn't want a third term. He wants total power going forward. So let's keep an eye on that situation, and we'll have to regroup at another time.
One of the clips that I forgot to incorporate are the people, the predictors, the psychics that came out and apologized. Of course, there's quite a lot of people that are apologizing. They're like, I'm sorry, I thought he gone. Just because you don't like him does not mean that he's gonna go. Now, yes, he's not okay health-wise, right? But that man is still alive and kicking. And it's still going to be a huge problem to the United States of embarrassment. So you guys better be ready to, stick with your orange man. Well, at the end of the day, nobody wants him. I'm not even sure if heaven wants him. Just saying. But those are the reactions that you guys have looked at. One of the brother came out and was like, he was about to say the craziest of stuff, but then he had a voice telling him, pray for him. And that really reminded me and woke something in me of the scripture that says, pray for your enemies. Yeah, don't wish them bad. Wish them well. That's the hardest thing to do. Especially if that enemy is literally torturing you right there and then. And you have to look them in the face and pray for them. And it reminds me of Christ when the people that were crucifying him and then those that were mocking him, it was like, forgive them because they don't know what they are doing. So I guess you my people, it is going to be time for you to pray and ask the Most High. Tell him, forgive him. He doesn't know what he's doing. Even if clearly this man knows what he's doing. But I know that indeed he's just been consumed by hate. As that, evenness reaches a time where it, if you allow it, it consumes you fully, like really consumes you. But hey, it is what it is. Your man is still alive. How he was talking about some of the videos that the White House officials came out to actually clarify that was, construction. And now he's like AI generated. How he handled the news of people that were speculating that he's gone. Yeah, that was something else. Like he didn't see that, but he says he's been alive and well. Hey, that man lives on social media, right? But he cannot do anything without bringing Biden again. Let's not forget, I think in one of the videos that I made, I said that you reap what you sow. He sowed hate, and that's exactly what the public is giving him. I'm not here to tell anybody to give that to him, but the world is not gonna act fair when you've not been fair. You know, having expectations of people treating you well when, you know, you have been horrible. That is, you know, being delusional, to be honest. But your man is still alive. Many people were talking about how it looks like someone is behind him trying to control what he says and what he does and say. A lot of people say he looked bloated and, you know, every kind of whatever. But you've seen the reactions and the disappointment in the hearts of Americans. And that's why I'm like, America is not a real place. Like, seriously, I don't understand. Like, it's not a real place where people are literally anticipating and having their fingers crossed, praying hard, just waiting to hear the bad news. To them, the good news. At the end of the day, you still have quite a lot of people to deal with, even if he's gone. But those were the reactions. I don't want to prolong this video. I want you guys to let me know what you think, because I think I just brought these reactions because I thought that they are funny, and I just wanted to give you a laugh out of, you know, circumstances that are probably, you know, uncontrollable. You don't know what is about to happen and all of that. Yeah, sometimes just look at some people that are funny, gifted with the gift of comedy, pure comedy. And yeah, shout out to everybody that I have featured in here, by the way. Yes, I do appreciate you guys so very much. I think from me for today, that's it. I'll see you in another amazing video. Till then, my name is Gracie. Love all of you. Stay safe. God bless you, protect you, watch over you, heal you, provide, and yeah, give you a very good September. See you later. Bye.